Welcome to the BOLO podcast, where we bring you insightful discussions on all things related to Black business, leadership and current affairs. Proudly brought to you in association with Camden Council, our aim is to shed light on matters concerning London, the UK and their impact across the diaspora. Join us as we delve into the inspiring stories of the people on the ground, creating dreams and seizing opportunities, paving the way for a brighter future. We also engage with decision makers who play a vital role in shaping policies, ensuring a conducive environment for the growth and success of Black business. Thanks for tuning in. Stay connected, stay informed, and together, let's make a difference.
Amazing. Dr. Dapaah.
Okay, thank you very much. Black on London for having me. My name is Dr. Kevin Dapaah. I'm a dentist and I've been so for probably nearly 10 years now. I'm a co-founder and the clinical director of the Dove Dental Wellbeing Spa, which is a private dental and aesthetic clinic based in Wandsworth, southwest London. I'm sure we go to history later, but proud co-founder, and I'm glad to be here.
Amazing. Welcome. Roger.
Thank you for having me here. I'm the head chef and the owner of Roger's Kitchen in Camden. I'm proud for you guys to have me here, and it's a hard business to run. Restaurant, that people know, open in the pandemic, and the great thing at the moment for me is like I'm a finalist in the BB Award.
Well done.
So if I do that for 3 years, that gives me a lot of motivated to be here today. No? Thank you guys.
Well, thank you.
Amazing. Thank you for being here. So I guess definitely one of the things that we want to do with this podcast is have consumers and potential clients understand a little bit more about you, a little bit more about your history, how you came about building your businesses, and what you're most proud about your service. So going with that, so we'll start with you, Roger. To talk about the initiation, what made you start Roger's Kitchen?
Well, when I come here 2001, my cousin had a restaurant in Camden, in Mango Rooms, and his first job I have is to wash plate. And I remember people used to be a busy restaurant, and I remember when people used to come in there who know me and say, "All right, your cousin restaurant, why you washing up plate? Why you taking a plate?" So I just keep on doing my job. And then I ended up being head chef for 1 2 years until he closed down. And
what area was that? Where was Mango Rooms?
10 Kentish Town Road.
Oh, okay, so it's Camden as well.
Camden,
yeah.
So I'm really familiar with Camden.
Yeah.
And that's why I love have a restaurant in Camden, because everybody know me from Highgate, Hampstead, all over, So, and then he packed up business 2017, and I was gonna forget the restaurant because I have enough, and then it's difficult to get a business partner to help me build. And you've been trying people for 2 years. People say, "Oh yeah, we're gonna put that in money." So there's like one time I was gonna give them, and my wife said, "Oh, don't give up." And I was telling the dentist here, and I was home one day, and somebody emailed and asked me if I do catering, and I say, my wife says, "It's for 5 people." And I said, "No, I can't bother that on 5 people. Take cater for 5 people." I said, "Oh, Roger, I think you're stupid. You should just give a price." So she gave a price, and ladies, she come all the way from Lewisham to Enfield for 5 food. And I started from home in the pandemic, and one Saturday I have 60 order from home.
Wow. Nice.
And so comes like I try and get this place in Camden open. It's not the best location for me, but I have to start from somewhere, hard work,
That's the game.
And then it worked with us. I'm a finalist now in the Black British Award,
Oh.
Here we go.
That's what I'm saying, so.
Down.
Well, that's good.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Well, I can give my journey to being a dentist or journey of owning a business. Which one do you want to give?
Obviously, man, both are both equally important.
Okay.
The journey's the journey.
Okay, cool. Thank you. So, yeah, so I grew up in So I grew up in Thornton Heath, Croydon, South London, and coming from such an area, at that time there wasn't much role models or people look like me going into my field. And when I was young, secondary school, got in a bit of trouble, got involved in gangs and stuff like that. But after a life-changing moment on the streets, I had to really think about where my path was going to go to, and seeing people either going to prison or dying, you're thinking there's only kind of two ways out. So shortly after that, I came to my faith in God and I became a Christian, and that was the turning point for me. And that's when I began to apply myself. I was always did okay in school. I would do my bits and then come home and then do my work. But going to college / sixth form, I was able to kind of apply myself. But then, because you don't have people to kind of look up to, I first wanted to be a doctor, and then a medical doctor, and then I changed halfway through to becoming a dentist. But I didn't get my grades were poor. I failed my A-levels, and I thought that was it for me. And I then did another degree in dental materials, which wasn't dentistry. At Culinary, I did that for 3 years, and then I finished that. Hated every minute of it, but I did it. And then I decided to work as a dental nurse for 1 year, earning £7 an hour. And then I reapplied. And then I reapplied to get to dental school. Fortunately enough, I then went to Plymouth University and spent 4 years there. It was a kind of life-changing experience, because all I knew before was people who were around me, but then all of a sudden you're around different people from different backgrounds. So the way I articulate myself had to be different. The way I had to reason had to be different. When you're from where we're from, any situation, but you have to kind of manage yourself, you know what I'm saying? But, very, very fortunate, I managed to spend 4 years there. Then managed, which I spent 6 months in Cornwall training. And then after that, I had another issue. I then, they did this national kind of assessment and exams. And I thought at the time, it was a bit biased, but there we go. I didn't get a job in England. So I thought, how can I do all of this? And my first job as a kind of junior doctor, junior dentist type of thing, I almost failed the assessment, which was heartbreaking. So fortunately enough, I managed to go to, I then looked to Scotland. So a friend of mine who was a couple of years above me said, Kev, just apply to Scotland as a backup, and I did. And after I finished uni, I ended up in the north area of Scotland, past Edinburgh, past Aberdeen, past
Inverness. Sky or something.
Like it's called Thurso. So it's where people do like what do you call it? People do the thing where they go from south to north, like highest point. Yeah. It's around the hillsides. I spent a year there in the village, and I was the only black dentist in the village. The only black.
No, you weren't. Yeah.
Trust me, it was peak. But you know what? I love the Scottish people. They treated me well. Yeah. No ounce of any issue, racism. They came there, embraced me, accepted me. It was proper. Nice. But you know what? The person that gave me an opportunity was my boss at the time, because he's an Irishman. Irish people, they love black people. And he saw, in my interview, he saw something in me, and he said, Kev, you know what? not only would I teach you dentistry, but I'll teach you business.
Amazing.
And at that time, he had about 5 or 6 practices and other businesses as well. So that is what. So people are like, why did you go all the way up there? Because I believe God has a plan, and He gave me the initial impetus or the inspiration to say what's possible outside of just being a normal dentist. So after that, came back to London, worked in hospitals, and worked in the NHS, and then I had a friend called Kay Dove, who's now my business partner and the managing director of Dove Dental. It was her dad's practice who was closed up. He had retired, totally closed up shop. And it was 2015 or 16. It was a Good Friday. Went to church and we met her there. And she said, Kev, look, at the time the family was thinking of converting it into, because the upstairs is flat, so keeping it as a residential so they can rent it out, or keeping it as a business. But none of her siblings are dentists. So the family was really looking to push to kind of convert it, but she was like, no. She was to preserve her dad's legacy. So she reached out to me, and the place was dusty. There was rats. It was like, I said, Kev, I want you to take over this time. I'm like, just come off dental school thinking, yo, like, how am I gonna do this? And she goes, Kev, I help you. I think, oh, but she doesn't know anything about dentistry, but said she'll do it with non-clinical. So I said, perfect, because I hate paperwork. Yeah. So I was like, yep, you do all of that. But then I still didn't think it was enough. So that I have a mentor, so it's good to have mentors. So I had a mentor called Dr. Jamal Johnston, who's also my business partner. So every 3 months we would meet up and just talk about, and he's had practices in the past. So I call him Uncle. I said, Uncle, look, this situation, there's a practice here, it's old, this is that. I hope I'm not taking too much time.
No.
Please.
Don't hesitate, please. It's important. It's important, please.
So he said to me, so I explained to him, and I said, look, this situation, but I don't know if I can do it by myself. He said, but it sounds like a good opportunity. He said, let me come back to you. So he said, so he came back and said, Kevin, it's a good area, good opportunity. It'd be hard to get an NHS contract. I think to start something from the ground up would be difficult. So he said, he was asking all of these business questions. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. So he said, let's meet up with Kay's dad so we can talk. So we met up with him, very nice meeting. You asked all these business questions. And then when we left, he said, Kev, I think it's a very good opportunity. And I'll invest. I said, Uncle, man, I want you to be part of it. And then he goes, let me speak. Because he's like telling the career, looking to retire. I said, Uncle, I just want you to oversee, let us do the hard work, let us do the graft, whatever. And then I then went to Kay and I said, Kay, look, we could do this business, but I need another person involved that had an old head kind of experience. Like, what you're saying, you know what I mean? The kind of experience and the wisdom. She goes, no, I don't really know him. I said, trust me, he's cool, he's this, he's that. So we came together, and then he kind of helped because he's got experience of dealing with banks, solicitors, this, that, all that kind of stuff. So we then came together, and then we then done the refurb. We applied for an NHS contract so we could provide NHS services, because that's what I was used to. And I tell you, when we wrote to them, we spent about 2 weeks on the letter. Wow. When we wrote to them, and he was willing to train. He was a training center to train dentists or therapists, hygienists. And at 2:30 p.m. they went back and said sorry. So it's like, damn. So because how the NHS works is that they give you money every month, so you can then provide for people who can't afford and stuff. So then they'll give you money, so that will help with the cash flow of the business. Yeah. They said no, so we're completely on our own. So we said, cool. So then we spoke to the bank, and they was able to get some money, and then we used that to do the building. So we've got no option but to make it like a high-end private practice. We had no option. So then we had to really change the way we kind of did it. And I don't regret it. But yes, we opened just before the pandemic. And then I think we opened, October 2019, and then we closed. And imagine we don't have no cash flow for the NHS. So we're thinking. But thank God for people like Dr. Jamal, who was able to somehow, these insurance things, something like madness happens, and that I was able to get a good subs that kind of helped us keep afloat. And then, but what was amazing was that during the pandemic, I started giving free consultations online.
Yeah.
So people who were in pain, so when COVID was really bad, I'll just meet them and give them antibiotics, like outside the practice, that kind of thing. And, and the thing is, by the time COVID, the lockdown had ended, we had to open up again, I had over 120 contacts. I was doing like 4 Zooms a day, just just advising, but that really worked in our favor.
Yeah.
Then we got all the data. Then people then said, no, I want to come and do my teeth, this, that, and then that's how, we grew. So really thankful, and that's a love story.
Good.
There's a lot. There's a
Story, appreciate it.
No, there's a lot to take out of that. That kind of, I suppose, bridges across to you, Roger, because there's a similarity, it seems, in the work ethic, the drive, the determination, the no ifs, buts, or maybes. We've got to make this work, and it's interesting. You talked about how you were able to navigate the pandemic, and I guess that's my question for you, Roger, especially with hospitality and the way. That it was.
I think that one is like, it's worse than your one. I'm telling you, it's like they open and it's like you hear the news. Tonight you go home and they say, oh, it's only 2 people can sit outside, or they're gonna have people come around and check in restaurant.
Yeah.
And it's like you doing takeaway, and it's not much people come to take away, and sometimes you can't pay the bills. Or sometimes you think, I wonder when you're gonna get a good run. It's like you keep thinking, oh, somebody said, oh, next month it's gonna be better. Then next month he said there's a new strain coming in, and it's like it's really, really difficult for hospitality. And then the problem with me, I have the same problem like doctor, dentist. Yeah. So the problem with me, I opened in July. I think they closed on in March, and I take over the building and open in July. So I could never get furlough. Because I opened after the cut off points. I couldn't get furlough. So all these people say, oh, I'm getting this, I'm getting furlough for staff, I'm getting loan. I couldn't get that until I think around October, November, before I started getting little things from them. So it was so hard. And for me, if I wasn't a chef, it would never work until today. And that's what I would tell a lot of young people out there, a lot of young black people out there, where I see in this country, where they think they cannot reach the top, or they cannot do this, and they cannot. It's sometimes hurtful for me, because when we come from in Jamaica, my mom have 6 kids with 4 different fathers, and none of the fathers stay. And I grew up like 2 miles off of the road, so I grew in the hills. So it was bucket torch and candle. So when you come on to like ice water, maybe every Sunday before me get ice water, because by the time you buy in hot country like that, by the time you buy ice on the road this big, I'm bringing it to the hills, by reach up in Melton. You see what I'm saying? So if you come from there and come to England, washing plate, and all this thing, that's what me reach. And sometimes I see some people, because I never go, I don't shame to speak, I never go uni or high school and this. I finished school when I was 15. I grew up in the farm, so I used to farm before I come here. I don't have degree in this and degree in that, But for me to come here and give thanks, I put up my hand to my cousin, Derek. He's dead and gone now. He's the one who gave me this knowledge about the restaurant, because I come and work around him. I'm working for 18 years, so I learned so much about the restaurant. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't do this, because I wouldn't have an idea. But a lot of people would never stick, because I get we have a lot of race vice and get looked down on sometimes. But some people come and say, oh, Roger, I can't believe you're still working here. But I know I was focused. And now when I look at it and I think to myself, a lot of people who used to chat and you used to go to them buying champagne and this, they're looking up at me, like I'm a Dan, and I don't like it. I don't like when people call me Dan and this thing, because if you come in the kitchen, if you come in the restaurant, a lot of people come in the restaurant, I would never know it's me, because I'm washing, I'm cooking, I'm mopping, I'm doing everything. And when people say, who's the owner? And they say, that's the owner. Then they say, who? That man washing up. And I say, yeah. Some people start to clap me and this thing. That's why I was the other day when I go to the interview for the BB Award, and one of the judges asked me, so what motivate me? I said, it's not about money. It's about the customer when going through the door and then finish eat. It's so much compliments I get, and so much people say, oh, hope you don't close on this place. Keep it going, because that's the best food we ever eat. And that's what motivates me, you know? So sometimes when I'm out there and hear people cussing the country, like people growing here, a lot of these people growing here cussing this country, back home, I don't think my family in Jamaica get £50 over the pandemic each. And people are getting thousands. There, you don't get this thing. My mom lived at home till she was like, she lived with my grandmother till she's 60. You see what I'm saying? You don't get council house, you don't get all this thing, no. So when me come to this country, all me know is to work for what me want, because I've been working since I was 12 years old. So all the thing, I wish I could teach a lot of these kids about growing up hard, and it's nothing come on the table that easy. You cannot beat hard work and dedication. You know, you cannot beat that.
It's interesting. I think we've had without a guess, they've said the same thing. Though it's interesting because you both say it. It's like why you guys start these types of things. It's never the money that starts it.
No.
It's the motivation is something within you that you to see, and then similar to that as well is the fact that, and obviously social media plays a lot of part for that. Now,
Sure.
You see the shiny end of it, the end. So you both of you are business owners, so just people think, wow.
Yeah.
So what they assume is what they see on Instagram or whatever, that you're probably just sitting somewhere and then some money's falling on your head and you're telling 20 people do this, do that. They don't actually understand what it takes to build a business, the hardship, the stress. That you guys both talked about opening businesses in pretty much.
I'm surprised.
And made it successes of it, not just. It's not a horror story. It's actually a success story in some of the hardest times. So it's really interesting because for me, I think. Inspirational wise, it's important for people to understand that things don't have to be perfect. Things don't have to. We don't set up in the perfect time. You never know what's going to happen. But what's interesting about both your stories and stories from other guests is similarities of both of you had mentors, people who put you on the importance of having someone who knows what you're trying to get into and can help you. And sticking with that, the work ethic of it not being handed to you and actually something that was grafted on. I think those two things really sit well, and the motivation, it being beyond money. I think those things are really.
Yeah, I mean, just to add to what you're saying, like consistency. There's a boxing promoter called Eddie Hearn. He said, "You are better than me, but more gifted than me, but you never outwork me." And there's something about consistency. There's something about being dedicated to your craft, because I've come to understand when you're good at what you do, people will find you. And I was talking to Roger just before we came on air, and he was talking about people who come from Bristol, people who'd come, he said Birmingham, Nottingham, to come and see you. And it's like I've had people fly over from Nigeria, Ghana, people just flying just to come for appointment. It's crazy, and it's like, when you good at what you do, you'll like allow your work to speak for yourself. Like the proof is the food is in the tasting, And I'm lucky for me, because I always say, like, I've got a friend of mine who is they call it a gastro doctor. Like people who have like appendix, stuff like that. And if any of us have an appendix, a problem, we're in so much pain. And then obviously they operate on you, then you'll be like, oh, we're so thankful the pain's gone. Fortunately for me, the work I do, you can see it.
Yeah.
So people say, oh, you can do this. Oh, you know, Kevin. But one thing I wanted just to add to your point is that what was hard for me was at the beginning, I was still working my 2 jobs. So I was working in a practice in NHS practice in Tooting and a private practice in Wimbledon. And for the first 2.5 years, I didn't get a single penny from the company. What was more difficult was that I was working sometimes 12 hours because I would work from 9 to 5 at my NHS practice, and then I would rush over and work at 6 till 9:30 at my private practice whilst we were doing the startup. And what was scary for me, because when we first opened, I was thinking that my colleagues I was working with at the time, they both had young families. So thinking, what I'm doing, I know how to suffer. Like I know what it means to be broke. I'm cool, but to know that what you're doing is paying to help other families it was a daunting,
Big responsibility.
big responsibility. You know, because not just you anymore. Think about other people.
Absolutely.
And what was hard for me was that the more we got busier and busier and busier, great for the business, but it meant I had to work less and less and less for my paid job, and then spend more time at my new business, which I wasn't getting paid for. So as the business grew, I was living on less and less money. That was difficult, but you have to believe in the vision. You have to believe in what you're doing. You can't watch other people. Just follow. Just believe in your source. Believe in your style. Believe in what you're doing, and just continue to focus and work hard, because afterwards it will speak for itself. The Indians have done it. You know, the Turkish have done it. The Thai, the Japanese, the Chinese have done it. Why can't we do it? That's why I'm happy that not to down the NHS, because the NHS, I worked for NHS, and I was supported by the NHS when I was working. But when we couldn't have the contract, we had no choice. But we say, we got to up the level and up our game. That's when you think for a consultation, I spend 45 minutes to an hour with you. And the first 15 minutes, I'm having a conversation with you. I'm not trying to do everything in 15 minutes. The quality, the materials I use, the lab, the people I work with, is all at a high level. And it comes at a cost. If you can't afford it, that's fine. But that's why we have like flexible payment options, payment plans, stuff like that, and all of that. Do you get what I mean? But you want to keep things at a certain level. When you have a thing at a certain level, people respect it, because no one goes to Selfridges, Harrods, and all that. They don't go ask for this. I've never had Louis Vuitton have I've never had Louis Vuitton have a sale.
That's the honest truth, and that's the biggest factor there. That what you said there, and I think that culture people need to start to understand that. If you want haggle in certain places, don't come to this place to haggle either. Because what you get here is the same quality, if not more than what you get over there. But it's perception. And it's down to things like imposter syndrome and the rest of it. You don't want to be seen as less than in those places, so you don't haggle. But you tend to belong to it.
But you know what is as well? Why do people say sometimes, oh, this person down the road is cheaper? Because we are in this, I guess, where we are, black people in the diaspora, we're kind of coming up now, especially look what you guys are doing, people, social media, whatever, people. Our generation before us tried, and they did establish business, but now there's really a thriving like business culture, knowledge being shared and all of that. Because you don't have the economies of scale yet, that's why things are more expensive.
Yeah, of course, exactly.
But it will come to a point where Roger will have one in Miami, Central London, wherever. And there's the economies of scale. So you have power to bring things at a certain price. But when you're one man trying to do things, it's going to be hard, because the charges on the business rates,
it's
it's
hard.
But I think that's one of the most important aspects, even from the beginning of this conversation, which adds so much context to what's happening now, what we're talking about now, which is that essentially you, for a long period of time, had already established a level of service that you wanted to deliver. You were working essentially 3 jobs, prioritizing paying the staff who you created this opportunity. And as your business got more successful, you were getting less and less money. So the value that was given is just pure value.
Yes.
And when people can understand that in the context of, in addition to, hey, from the offset, this is the service that we're getting. But the story behind it is also he's worked to even create this opportunity for this service before we even go to scale. That's that hopefully helps create a slight cultural shift in that we see each other, actually see what's actually been done. We see the effort that's been put in, and that's value. That's the value that comes with. This is why I'm here. This is why I've chosen. This is why I've chosen to go to Roger's Kitchen.
As Doctor here, you say I think it's a culture thing for you. I think it's a culture thing, because the big problem we have again with our people, they book a table for 7 o'clock and they turn up 9. And they expect me to save that table for them for 2 hours. And people are going to say, how you mean you don't have my table? And I said, no, this is not right like this. We flip the table. And people are complaining and say, oh, like that the manager said to me, already I tell this lady she have 2.5 hours. And the lady said to him, he said to the lady, oh, you have 2.5 hours, enjoy yourself for 2.5 hours. The lady said to him, said, how if you enjoy myself when you tell me what you do? You understand? So it's a culture thing, because you have people, I do my hairdresser. And I'm in hairdresser for years. I'm doing my hair now for like 15, 16 years. I go hairdresser, black hairdresser. And here some girl come in and them say, oh, me I got one party 12 o'clock, you know. And the party finish 1 o'clock or something. And 11 o'clock them still I do them here. So I'm thinking to myself, you're going to a party to support me, to make a money in my pocket or in the business, because me have to rent the place, I rent the studio, I rent what. And then you turn up 1 hour to support me 1 hour. How much of money you can spend in 1 hour? You see what I'm saying? When I went there, they were saying to my business partner, and I think it's a culture thing, because when I travel around Dalston, like you go Shoreditch and London Field in these places, yeah, you see some white pub. From 1 o'clock, people are drinking and eating and busy. But if I have a party, it's like I'm gonna come 1 hour for my clothes and expect say, boy, if you get food and if you up in the place over the license agreement to make your business close up. So when you're not lucky, do I'm make lucky and say, you know, work like this. And that's what we need to get out of, you know. We need to turn up on time and support black people, black business more, I would say more reasonable. You understand?
Just started that when we first started, right? We was obviously 90% of our patients are black. And the good thing is that, to be honest with you, a lot of our patients are professionals, professionals, business owners, people work in entertainment, sports, so they have disposable income too, and they value good healthcare. Cool. Which I think is good, because my parents coming from Ghana, you know, them doing things like cleaning and stuff like that back then, washing cars and X, Y, and Z, they wouldn't dream to think they could afford something like that. But now, us, the new generation coming up, we're kind of in the system and thinking how we can maximize opportunity, and by virtue of that, come on disposable income to afford certain things. But when we first started, people used to book appointments. Oh, can I book appointment to Dr. Dapaah? Yeah. Okay, you got an appointment next Thursday at 2 p.m. Great. They won't turn up. So, they won't turn up. And then when you call them, I forgot. When we do reminders, all these excuses. Then we had to then start taking deposits.
Yeah.
People were like, oh, why are you taking deposit? I said, we need to secure the appointment. Because what people don't understand is that I don't get paid a salary. I get paid for what I do. So the minute that someone doesn't turn up, I lose. My nurse there twiddling her thumbs, she still get paid an hourly rate. But I get paid what I do. And if I don't see someone in that chair, I don't get paid. So my business partner said, I remember we was talking as a team, and the team, some of the girls were like, oh, maybe people won't pay. My business partner said, before you take a flight, you pay for the flight. You pay for your flight tickets. And that's how it is. So by having a deposit system, and if just say you was to call and then you're driving at a time you can't pay at the time, I say, okay, cool, we'll give you 24 hours. If you don't have 24 hours, then that's how it goes. Because especially friends, family, it has to be the same, but all across the board, because you have that culture coming late or not turning up. Oh, sorry. What they don't realize, it's costing the business. Do you know what I mean? And by having systems, processes in place, you safeguard yourself and say, you know what, and see how you can move forward.
So the business can survive.
And even harder for my business, like the restaurant business, because the same thing is the problem. People ring up, a lot of people ring up, and you tell them about deposit. And it's like some of them scared to give the card because they think your teeth. And some of them, I'm telling you, some of them hang up the phone, you know. When you tell them about deposit, oh, but you're booking for 40 people or 30 people.
40 people don't deposit.
But you have to pay a deposit. They hang up the phone on you. And it's like, and you look and you think to yourself, say, it's like, these people need to educate about these things. They need to educate about business.
But see the thing, this is the honest truth. You're both right, 100%. But here's something to think about. This is why I realize that I go with, if we take any other cultures, whether it be Japanese, Chinese, Jewish, whatever you want, which other cultures you want to take, I don't actually believe that there's an education amongst these people about how business works. I just believe that what we are hoping for, and if we put some other statistics about, for instance, in this country, it's about 3% black people. I don't know if you guys know that it's about 3% black people in this entire country. Right? What I think we are sometimes of ourselves is we expect that entire 3% to be well educated on business, well understood about this. And I'm like, the reality is they're not going to be. You know, but for instance, and both of you experienced this, I'm sure. So for instance, you're saying to me, okay, nice to know my patients are black, but they're professionals, the rest of it, who have the understanding. So they behave accordingly. Guests who come to your restaurant who don't start hustling for prices, are happy to most likely are from a situation where they understand what you're dealing with. So I think there's a bit of a tricky situation where yes, we want unity, we want community, but it's understanding within the community, and within the unity, there's those that do understand and there's those that don't understand. And we shouldn't try to fight for the ones that don't understand to understand immediately. And what I've always said for us at Black and London is that Black and London is getting all of us that do understand to get together to make the shift. Do you understand? It can't be me trying to convince 50 people who have no idea how business works. But if I get 50 people who understand business to operate a certain way, those 50 will learn from seeing those situations. Even just generous Eurocentric white people, there's a reason why they run their businesses those ways. It's not a cultural thing. It's lessons learned. Does that make sense? I think sometimes we apply culture to things that just lessons learned. It's not some sort of thing that they were taught from just some random situation back. Oh, you just how they learned themselves. That we did it this way, it wasn't working, and we did it this way, it is working, and then it becomes part of the culture. Does that make sense? Whereas I think for us, we are trying to be like, why are people not getting it from the beginning? I'm like, unfortunately, we're going to have to utilize these tools to change the culture towards these situations.
But even the other day I was in Jamaica in February, and my daughter's 25, and I was going out shopping. I was buying some rum to take back, you know. And I remember going to this Chinese man shopping Montego Bay, and I think about 8 back of rum, and I owed him $40-something thousand, Jamaican dollar, because you know Jamaican money week. And then my daughter was saying, "Daddy, you know, give a discount." So I said, "Nashima," I say, "It's not every time you want discount, you know." He said, "Oh, you buy enough if you get discount." He said, "Yeah, idiot." Yeah. He said, "If everybody in Jamaica, the Chinese man, if you get discount, you'll be no business." Exactly. I said, that's why I went to this country, and I'm an independent person since I was young. And anywhere we go, my friend, I have a Caribbean, like a cookery, me ask them how much of my food. Even when I we don't know if it's free or not. I say, how much for my bill? And he said, right, oh no, it's free. I don't say, give me £10, or give me £50 and thing. Because I told them to cook and to buy food and produce food is not cheap to give away. So I always trying to, you have some people we say, oh, if Roger not do them, now come. Because they're looking for something. And if you do it for 10 people a week or 50 people a week, I wouldn't have no business. It would be closed. And there are some people that will say, oh, Dr. Dapaah have a nice dentist and he closed down. But we don't understand. It's them close it down. Because people come and say, wow, look how Roger restaurant, it was a pack and nice. But the thing is, They don't understand. Say, oh, black people can't do business. Look, it can't.
Yeah,
but they don't understand that they are the people who close.
It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
You understand?
That's the worst part about it.
Is they close it.
100%.
My friend told me years ago, and say he used to have a friend in countryside of a Caribbean restaurant, and every time somebody you hear people come there, oh, Dr. Dapaah, there, they eat. Tell him something pass through, just eat and gone. Few of them come, tell him something pass through. In no time the restaurant shut.
Yeah.
There's no money going in the business. Yeah. And then what happened? When me down on my face now, you come up, you laugh at me and say, boy, look, I'm used to got your place and you have money. And look on you now, look on you now. That's what I'm saying. That's the problem. And that's why you cannot give up. When you're doing this, you have to be serious. You have to, that's why I tell people the way I say, restaurant and woman don't work. Restaurant and friend don't work.
Yeah.
Once you start playing those two games, you finish. Yeah. You understand? That's me. I don't mix restaurant and woman. My wife, that's it. Because you look for this here and say, Raja was, tell Raja say, it's me past too. Oh, me and Raja used to go out and blah, blah, blah. No, it don't work like that. You don't work like that. If you come and if you have a dentist and every week you have 3, 4, 5 girls coming cleaning for free, you take up your time, you don't make no money. No. That's what me learn about this. Sorry, that's what I learn about this.
No, listen, you're 120%.
Yeah.
We all know that. I think people want to pretend that they don't know that, but they all know that.
Yeah.
I think everyone wants, especially it's such a strange aspect because it's funny, they kind of put you in a place where they make it seem like your business must be doing so well that you've got enough money to just throw away stuff and give it away. Do you know what I mean? And you're like, guys, if my business was doing that well, do you know what I mean? Yeah. That means people are paying customers. It can't work both ways. I can't be giving stuff away free and my business is doing well. It has to be one or the other. So, that's why I understand it. But what I was going to say something
quickly.
Go.
One thing I realized very quickly, if people want 50% off discount, they still expect 100% of the quality.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
They don't want 50% of the job done. They still expect. And then the problem, the first one to come back.
100%.
And I was going to say,
that winds me up so bad.
I was going to say, to learn about business, start learning about me. Every penny counts.
Yeah. Yes. And don't get me wrong, I think culturally it's beautiful that in Africa, in the Caribbean, that we can sometimes try to be generous. Yeah. But we have to remember that that's for 2 reasons. Yeah. Some of the stuff that grows there is abundant. So it's cheap. So of course, if someone like, listen, I've been to both Ghana and Jamaica, and I see someone go cut down a coconut for me, break it in front of my face. Yeah. Of course, if you want to start charging me big money for that, that's not going to happen. Yeah. But then, like you said, it's like, in order to make money, in order to run a business, and especially in a country like this one, where outgoings are high, overheads are high, you have every penny counts. And I think you can't take that, as lovely as it is, you can't take that culture and make it work here because it just doesn't work. The two aren't compatible.
But you know what happened back in the Caribbean? I don't know if in Africa too. Because the thing much up like small businesses in the Caribbean, because I grew up in the country, and I mean so much of a lot of small shops, is credit. Credit. These people don't credit here. I have a cash and carry in Finsey Park. And I've been going for 23 years. And if I go there and short and the man won't give me the you understand? But in Jamaica, you go in the shop and you say, oh, no worry, next time me pay. Until that bill there for 2 years, never pay. And that's a mess up a lot of our community from our third world country. It's credit. Because what happens, a lot of poor people come, we cannot afford a band-aid for a damage on their hand. And you say, you know what, I'm going to make that bleed, I'll give him a band-aid. But that band-aid don't get paid for. And somebody come one little oil and you give them a little oil and that not pay for. But here, you go in the shop. If you don't have money, you don't get nothing.
Because
it's a complete difference.
Because of the consequences.
Yeah, different.
You feel the consequences quickly. Quick, whether you like it or not.
You understand?
Yeah.
You know, it's all about here, it's all about people hush. People's more hush here than back home. Yeah. It's like people back home maybe just easily lean way and drop their limits and say, you know what, a poor man give a thing. But here it's like, they're more harsh here. But in your face, that's it. We can't give you that.
To be honest, yes. But some people who will do that here, but I just realized that the people who are happy to be like, oh, you know what, let me get it. Their level of disposable income is much higher than we realize. I think people make the assumption, like, oh, I'm like, no, that person that's willing to give something has a lot more money than you understand.
Yeah.
That's why they're okay with doing it.
Yeah.
Whereas we assume that everyone's in the same position, but really they're not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All right, I was going to say, I want to just ask you guys a couple of questions. It's part of the section, part of the show, shall I say, of the podcast, which is called Prove Me Wrong. This section's called Prove Me Wrong, where myself and Alex will be playing devil's advocate, asking our hosts questions close to their heart, giving them the opportunity to navigate the tricky waters of today's whataboutism and the ignorance posted in most comment sections. This is not my views, guys. It's just, these are things that I'm going to ask you that's set to challenge you, and it's not personal. Before I start thinking it's me saying this, right? So we'll start with Dr. Dapaah. So I would like to ask you, for instance, is there any need for representation in dentistry? I mean, at the end of the day, all mouths are the same. So what uses it to have someone from your background in dentistry?
I mean, that's dentists or healthcare professionals.
In fact, the whole of healthcare, but especially in dentistry.
Yeah, there's definitely a need for there to be representation. What I find is that when I treat all types of patients from everywhere, but what I hear from Black people is that when they come to see me, there's like a unspoken sympathy. There's like a empathy. There's a level of comfort they will feel when they're trying to express or communicate. And it's something that goes unspoken. So for example, if I treat someone that's older than me, a lady, I'll call her auntie. I won't really call her name. And that is cultural. And I'll call uncle. Right. Uncle, auntie, this, that, da, da, da. And they feel they have their sympathy. Or you have somebody who's a gang member or rapper. And you say, oh, when I was in prison, this happened to me, da, 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 and, my teeth got, people come to me when I was in prison, my teeth got worse when I was in prison. And there's that kind of, I don't judge you because you're in prison. Do you know what I mean? Because sad is to say, in our culture, it's quite common. Do you get what I mean? But what I'm trying to say is that no matter who it is, there's an unspoken, for example, I said I'm going to come and eat at his restaurant because I want to support a Black business. There's that kind of support. There's that kind of...
that camaraderie.
The camaraderie. Do you get what I'm saying? That's what I felt. And I'll be honest with you, when we first started, because we were in a nice middle class area, all our marketing to our local area was white people. Because that's who we thought would appeal to. When the pandemic hit and people came to know about us, people would travel from all over just to support. And slowly we get to realize that, whoa, actually, private dentistry is accessible to our people.
Yes.
Because people value and people can. Do you get what I mean? So for that kind of unspoken kind of empathy, sympathy, or connection, probably the better word I would use. There's an immediate connection that is somewhat unspoken. It's an immediate connection, and I think it's nice. When I was in Scotland, I loved it. I loved it. I had the time of my life there. But me treating my community, something special about that as well. You know what I mean? Treating the likes of people like Beanie Man. I'm like, whoa, in my chair.
Because that means a lot to you.
It means a lot.
It has what do they call it? Weight, it has meaning.
Yeah, like
more than just it's another person.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like it's crazy. Do you know what I mean? It's like
I grew up to love your songs.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, what's going on here? Do you get what I mean? So people you see on TV or whatever, and then you realize that everyone's just human. They all got mouths, they all got needs, just like all of us.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I just feel there's that connection that you have when it comes to looking after our community. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Perfect. Roger, for you, I say, does it really matter if who opens a restaurant, who opens a Caribbean restaurant? Does it matter if it's you, or if it matters, does it have to be someone from Jamaica? If I want to start a Caribbean restaurant tomorrow and I was white and from Grimsby, what difference does it make? What does authenticity do for that?
Well, I wouldn't say it made no difference.
I don't get to. This is me asking you. Like,
it's a hard one.
It's a
hard one because in my restaurant, a lot of people come because I have mostly Brazilians. I work with Brazilians for years, and for them people think that they're white. Although some of them they're in Brazil mixture, and people will come in and say, "Oh, a white man, no white man cook my food, and I hope you all cook my food, no Raja." All this thing is like, yeah, it happened for years. People come in and say, "Oh, I hope you all cook my food, you know." And people will say to me, "Oh, me come and me see happy white people, but no, me see you, me feel more happy." You understand? So it could make a difference. It could make a difference. It could make a difference. I wouldn't say it make a big difference.
Yeah.
It make a big difference. Yeah. It make a big difference. It make a big difference. Because a lot of people, you have few Indian man who running Caribbean restaurant, and every time you hear customer come on my place and say, "Oh, Raja, I know black man, an Indian man I run this, an Indian man I run that, and these things," and it make a big difference. And if you mention a restaurant and they will say, "Oh, I didn't hear that," and you say, "Oh, they want to come from Pakistan," and they must say, "Oh, me used to go to me and go back there." You know, that's what I'm saying, you know. So it make a difference. It make a difference.
And do you think it's important? Do you think the authenticity is important? Do you think it's important that if I'm serving Caribbean food, the person who's made this place happen has got Caribbean roots, or do you think it matters?
Well, I always say to people all the way, because I've been in for years, for 20 odd years now, and I always say to people, you know what? If a black man work in the Ivy or open a cafe, no white man people are going to say, how black man running a cafe, selling black pudding and egg and chips and this. I don't think a white man going to go say, "Oh, why a black man running a cafe?" So I always think to myself, it reach a stage in life now what me see is like younger generation, they're mixing with white, Indian, everybody mixing, and the younger generation changing things. So it's not like the old days. So I think to myself right now, anybody could go school and learn how to cook Caribbean food and open up, you know? But maybe it's going to be harder for them as not a black person. But I think the knowledge out there now on internet, YouTube and this, everybody learn how to cook it. I learn how to be a dentist. I learn how to do what black people do. So I think business is business.
I like that.
I think so.
Perfect.
I think business is business. Because if me go and open a pie and mash, white people now come and say, "Oh, why a black man open a pie and mash?" And that's not a black, that's a white concept. That's a white concept. But I look on the other way and I don't think white people come and say, "Oh, a black man, why does it taste good?" They may even buy more. You see what I'm saying? So I think business is business, and that's what we need to let go.
Okay, I like that.
You understand?
Yeah. All right. So last thing, just to wrap this up, it's quick fire round. This is the quick fire round. No ifs, buts, or maybes. No long explanations. Just one answer. So quick questions. It's just nothing too personal, just to get to know you guys.
Okay.
It's just answer freely. Don't think about it. You're not going to get me to explain anymore.
I love the pressure that's in their face.
Yeah, it's a quick fire round. All right, so
I'm doing this as well.
That's fine. So first, I ask you guys: beach or city? I'm not. See, that's what everyone said that first.
I think city.
What I'm saying is beach or city. What do you prefer?
City.
Okay.
I like city.
9 to 5 or 10 to 6?
9 to 5. 10 to 6.
Jollof rice or rice and peas?
Rice and peas.
Jollof rice.
I was looking at much like Roger. If you say jollof rice, you're a jollof.
Rice and peas.
The brands.
Quality or quantity?
Quality. Every day.
That's good. Nuclear power or fossil fuels?
Oh, Jesus. That's a hard one. I think I would say none of them.
I'll say one if you're forced to. You're supposed to say one.
Nuclear power, I would say, yeah.
Okay, cool. Youth or experience?
Experience, yeah.
Academia or apprenticeship?
Yeah. Apprenticeship?
I'll say academia because
Okay, it's just one. Sustainability or low cost?
Sustainability, yeah. I think sustainability.
Say how you feel, man. Say how you feel. Say how you feel. Say how you feel. These are quick round questions. There's no further explanation, so you get to say what you want. Okay.
I think so.
Brick and mortar or online?
Well, I would say brick and mortar. I'm not an online person.
I'll say brick and mortar.
Okay, cool. YouTube or Netflix?
YouTube.
Last couple for you. Afrobeats or bashment?
Bashment.
Afrobeats.
And the last two I've got here is actually city or the countryside?
City.
Yeah. And I think that's it. That's it, actually. That's all of them. Yeah, you guys covered them all. Perfect. Thank you, guys.
That's it.
It was a good experience, you know.
Close off. We'll close off. This has been another episode of BOLO's business podcast brought to you by Camden. Been an amazing chat. And so many nuggets to take away from mentorship, just the basics of entrepreneurship. Your journeys have been absolutely incredible, so inspiring. So much work put in behind the scenes that people don't see, and it's such an important message for people to acknowledge that it's ongoing and love the hustle culture. It never stops. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for your stories, and thank you for doing what you do, because you are honestly beacons of what business can be, and just appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you, guys. Honestly, thank you so much for coming through, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
It was well.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of the BOLO Business Podcast. Remember, the journey doesn't end here. We encourage you to carry these conversations forward, share your thoughts with us on social media, and most importantly, apply the insights gained today in your own spheres of influence. Stay tuned for more compelling discussions that transcend boundaries, bridge cultures, and celebrate the richness of diversity. Please subscribe, share, and until next time, this is the BOLO Business Podcast. Signing